Today we are discussing the AI chip wars, a high-stakes race powering everything from humanoid robots to massive language models, and the explosive trend of on-device AI. Nvidia's been dominating, but China's giants, Baidu, Alibaba, and Tencent, are charging ahead with 1-nanometer breakthroughs. Intel and AMD are pushing boundaries, Japan's Rapidus is making a bold comeback, India's surging with a semiconductor boom, and Taiwan's role remains critical. Oh, and let's not forget, geopolitical moves like Trump's tariffs, AI safety warnings from legends like Geoffrey Hinton, and Apple's bold push into custom silicon are shaking things up. Buckle up, because this is the story of who will control the brains of tomorrow's AI. Let's get into it. First up, Nvidia, the undisputed king, led by CEO Jensen Huang. They're powering everything: ChatGPT, humanoid robots, and on-device AI. At CES 2025, on January 7th, Huang's keynote racked up millions of YouTube views as he unveiled the RTX 50 series GPUs built on the Blackwell architecture. The star? The RTX 5090, packing 92 billion transistors and a mind-blowing 4,000 AI TOP. That's 3,352 trillion AI operations per second. It's driving breakthroughs like DLSS4, boosting gaming frame rates by up to 8 times. Then, on March 18th, at Nvidia's GTC keynote, Huang dropped the Blackwell Ultra chip, tailored for reasoning AI and humanoids like Figure AI's Figure 02. It delivers 1.5 times the AI performance of the base Blackwell, hitting up to 15 petaflops, a 7.5 times leap from the Hopper H100. And on August 26, Nvidia launched the Jetson AGX Thor, powering robots like Boston Dynamics Atlas and XPeng Robotics. With 2070 FP4 teraflops, it handles real-time generative AI tasks like folding clothes, offering a 7.5 times boost over the Jetson AGX Orin for low-latency, privacy-focused edge computing. But Nvidia's not untouchable.
Jensen has a new chip, the Blackwell. The Blackwell is super-duper advanced. That's the latest and the greatest in the world. Nobody has it. They won't have it for 5 years. But the H20 is obsolete. You know, it's one of those things, but it still has a market.
Beijing has banned leading tech firms from buying chips from one of the world's largest manufacturers, AI chips produced by California-based tech giant Nvidia.
China has put out notices to a number of state-owned and private companies, urging them to avoid using these H20 processors.
The messaging out of China recently has been that the H20, which is a chip that the Chinese want to have, could be bad for the countries.
In July 2025, China's Cyberspace Administration probed Nvidia's H20 chips over alleged backdoors, with Nvidia's chief security officer denying any kill switches or spyware. U.S. proposals for chip tracking raised trust issues, and on September 15th, Beijing banned H20 chips, citing national security, pushing China to go all in on homegrown AI hardware. This is a big blow. Nvidia's market share in China dropped to 54% in 2025, and analysts at Bernstein predict domestic chips could hit 55% by 2027.
We've prepared a lot of H20 already, but now we are waiting for purchase orders from China customers. And so when we receive the orders, we will be able to produce more.
On July 15th, 2025, the U.S. lifted the export ban on Nvidia's H20 AI chips to China, allowing sales to resume as a strategic move to counter Huawei's growing influence.
Today, I'm announcing that the U.S. government has approved for us filing licenses to start shipping H20s.
Let's zoom over to Taiwan, the silicon heart of AI chip production. TSMC makes over 90% of the world's advanced chips, including Nvidia's Blackwell, Rubin, and Jetson Thor.
The reason why we depend on TSMC is because they're the world's best.
At Computex 2025 on May 19th in Taipei, Huang unveiled the Isaac GR00TN 1.5 model for humanoid reasoning, trained on over 24,000 robot motion trajectories for tasks like grasping and multi-step material handling. On August 22nd, Huang made his third Taiwan visit of 2025, meeting TSMC execs to ramp up AI chip production.
We have a next generation architecture called Rubin. And Rubin is very advanced. And we have now taped out 6 brand new chips to TSMC. And I came to thank all of their operations people for working so hard for me.
They discussed optimizing H20 chips, U.S. fab investments, and trial production for Nvidia's Rubin chips, using TSMC's 3nm N3P process with CoWoS-L packaging and HBM4 set for 2026. TSMC's 1.6nm A16 chips, coming late 2026, will boost logic density by 7 to 10% and speed by 8 to 10%, perfect for on-device language models. But tensions are rising. Taiwan's June 16th blacklist of Huawei and SMIC, barring high-tech exports without licenses, aims to slow China's chip progress, as Bloomberg reported on September 24th. Huang called China a very important market, but Taiwan's fabs are the backbone of the AI revolution. Now, Intel and AMD are stepping up, focusing on edge and mobile AI. Intel's gunning for 1.4nm chips by 2027, with its 18A process already in trial production as of September 10, 2025. This delivers 25% better performance, or 36% lower power for AI workloads like large language models. Intel's Gaudi 3 chip, with 1,835 trillion floating point operations per second and 96 gigabytes HBM2E, is in hot demand in China for on-device LLMs, supporting models with over 70 billion parameters. Meanwhile, AMD's MI325X, announced July 10, 2025, targets LLMs like Llama 4 with 256 gigabytes, HBM3E, and 6 terabytes per second bandwidth, 1.8 times the capacity, and 1.3 times the bandwidth of Nvidia's H200. AMD's Versal AI Edge Gen 2, sampling since May 20th, powers robots like Agilbot's A1 with 4 times faster inference and 1.5 times more processing power. The Edge AI market's set to hit $25.65 billion in 2025, but backdoor concerns are pushing China towards self-reliance. In Q2 26, ending July 2025, Nvidia's data center division earned $41.1 billion, holding an 80 to 95% share of the AI accelerator market. Its CUDA software, built since 2006, locks in developers with optimized AI frameworks, while the Blackwell B200 GPU, 192 gigabytes HBM3E, 8 terabytes per second bandwidth, powers massive deployments. Reliance on TSMC for chips poses risks, spurring demand for alternatives. AMD's Instinct MI400, with 432 gigabytes, HBM4 and 19.6 terabytes per second bandwidth, an open-source ROCm platform, targets hyperscalers like Microsoft and Oracle. Despite $3.2 billion in data center revenue, AMD trails Nvidia, but could gain 15 to 20% market share by 2026, challenging Nvidia's monopoly if software matures quickly. And here's a major player entering the fray, Apple. Their new iPhone lineup, featuring the ultra-thin iPhone Air at just 5.6 millimeters, is powered by the A19 Pro chip with built-in neural accelerators for top-tier on-device AI. Apple's also rolling out its first in-house wireless chip, the N1, and an upgraded modem, the C1X, signaling a bold move toward full silicon control for better performance, privacy, and efficiency. The iPhone Air's design tackles heat with a raised camera plateau, vapor chamber, and aluminum body. Apple's phasing out third-party chips like Qualcomm modems over the next few years, and relies on TSMC's 3-nanometer process for production. Despite some Wall Street skepticism about Apple's AI strategy, they're doubling down on leading on-device AI rather than building their own AI models. While investing in U.S. manufacturing, Taiwan remains Apple's main production hub amid supply chain and geopolitical challenges. Speaking of China, Baidu, Alibaba, and Tencent, aka BAT, are making serious moves with 1-nanometer chip breakthroughs to localize AI amid geopolitical heat. On April 2, 2025, Fudan University unveiled the Wuji chip, the world's first 1-nanometer RISC-V processor with 5,900 MOS2 transistors for ultra-efficient on-device AI. Rivai Technologies' Lingyu CPU, announced April 4th, is a 1-nanometer RISC-V server chip with 32 cores, supporting LLMs like DeepSeek for edge devices. Baidu's Kunlun P800 powers Ernie AI and Xiaodu robots, driving a 16% share surge on September 17th after a strong analyst rating. Alibaba's T-Head PPU chip with 96 GB HBM2E matches Nvidia's H20 for edge AI in IoT and Industry 4.0, while Tencent's Xixiao chip cuts latency by 25% for VR/AR robotics. DeepSeek's V3.1 model, announced August 22nd, uses domestic chips to rival OpenAI's O1. China's push, fueled by the H20 ban, is reshaping the game. On September 18, 2025, Huawei unveiled its Atlas 950 and 960 clusters, using Ascend AI chips to challenge Nvidia's dominance and support China's AI self-sufficiency goals amid U.S.-China tensions. Chinese authorities reportedly pushed firms like ByteDance and Alibaba to avoid Nvidia chips, causing a 2.6% drop in Nvidia's shares. Huawei plans new Ascend chips for 2026, 2027, and 2028, using its own high-bandwidth memory. Expert Alex Capri notes Huawei's cluster-based approach optimizes performance but relies on Western tech, like deep ultraviolet lithography. Other Chinese firms like BYD, SMIC, and Alibaba pursue similar goals, yet face challenges from fragmented supply chains and complex tech integration. Huawei's progress is notable, but competing with Nvidia requires overcoming significant obstacles. Don't sleep on Japan. Back in the 1980s, Japan owned over 50% of the global semiconductor market, but by the 2010s, it fell below 10%, after sticking to outdated models while TSMC scaled specialized foundries. A global chip shortage exposed Japan's reliance on foreign chips, sparking a national comeback. Enter Rapidus, founded in 2022, aiming to mass-produce 2-nanometer chips by 2027 with $6.5 billion in government subsidies and backing from giants like Toyota and Sony. Partnering with IBM, Rapidus uses 2-nanometer nanosheet transistor tech, with a pilot line running in Hokkaido by April 2025. Their edge? Single wafer processing, AI-driven design, and flexible wafer transport for agile, niche markets like AI startups. But they face a $35 billion funding gap, a shortage of skilled engineers, and competition from TSMC, Samsung, and Intel, who are eyeing 1.4 nanometers by 2028. Success could revive Japan's tech leadership. Failure risks major setbacks. Now, let's talk about the wild card, India.
The world trusts India. The world believes in India. And the world is ready to build the semiconductor future with India.
With $18.2 billion across 10 semiconductor projects under the 76,000 crore rupee Semicon India program, India's targeting $110 billion in chip revenue by 2030. On September 20th, 2025, Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw showcased a 28 to 90 nanometer chip, including the Vikram 32-bit processor, India's first homegrown silicon for automotive and telecom. Tata's $11 billion Dholera fab with PSMC, Vedanta Foxconn's display fab, and HCL Foxconn's $435 million OSAT facility will produce 70 million chips daily.
HCL has a very long history of manufacturing electronics and computers. They have come with a very specialized technology. This is a technology called wafer level packaging. And this is especially focused on the display driver chips.
Renesas's 3 nanometer centers, Systems SiC fab, and Micron's $2.5 billion memory plant are scaling up, with a roadmap for 14 nanometer and 7 nanometer chips in 5 to 7 years. Challenges like ultra-pure chemicals and a need for 1 million skilled workers remain, but India's electronics industry has grown sixfold to 11.5 rupees lakh crore, with exports up eightfold. Vaishnaw called it a big milestone. What about Europe? On September 9, 2025, Dutch chip giant ASML invested $1.5 billion in French AI startup Mistral AI, gaining an 11% stake and valuing it at $12 billion, Europe's top AI company. This move bolsters Europe's tech sovereignty, challenging US and Asian giants. ASML, key to chipmakers like TSMC, backs Mistral, Europe's answer to OpenAI, to integrate AI into chip design and optimization, strengthening its role in the AI ecosystem. The deal, backed by EU leaders, aims to reduce reliance on Nvidia and OpenAI, pairing ASML's semiconductor expertise with Mistral's AI to compete globally. With US tariffs on non-American chips, ASML and Mistral's European AI infrastructure, possibly with Nvidia GPUs, could bypass trade barriers. A potential ASML-Mistral-Nvidia alliance faces antitrust scrutiny, execution risks, and geopolitical uncertainties. This investment could make Europe a global AI leader, but success depends on overcoming competition. Is this Europe's big moment? Share your thoughts. Microsoft has developed a microfluidic cooling system to advance its AI infrastructure, from chips to cloud. Inspired by nature and optimized by AI, this technology etches microchannels onto CPUs and GPUs, delivering precise cooling to high-heat areas. It offers 3 times better cooling than cold plates and reduces GPU silicon temperature rise by 65%. This enables faster, more efficient chip architectures using less water and power, supporting sustainable, high-performance data centers for advanced AI workloads. Geopolitics is turning up the heat. On August 5, 2025, Trump pledged 100% tariffs on imported chips, exempting US-based firms like TSMC to boost domestic manufacturing. But critics warn this could spike electronics costs.
We'll be putting a tariff on of approximately 100% on chips and semiconductors. But if you're building in the United States of America, there's no charge.
On July 30th, he lifted the H20 export ban, securing 15% of profits, letting Nvidia and AMD resume sales in China amid $16 billion in stockpiles. But at a July 15th AI summit, Trump called Huawei's Ascend chips a Nvidia nightmare, hinting at tighter controls. Taiwan's June 16th blacklist of Huawei and SMIC adds more strain, reshaping global supply chains for secure AI. And here's a critical angle: AI safety. In a YouTube video posted September 24, 2025, Geoffrey Hinton, the godfather of AI, warned that artificial superintelligence could surpass human intelligence in 5 to 20 years. While AI excels in specific tasks, superintelligence could pose existential risks, like AI seeking control. Hinton suggests embedding a maternal instinct in AI to prioritize human welfare and urges public pressure for regulation to tackle bias, cyber attacks, and societal impacts. AI's transforming healthcare and science, but it threatens mundane intellectual jobs, so adaptable skills are key. Hinton regrets not focusing on safety sooner and stresses proactive research to mitigate risks. So, what's the big picture? Nvidia's leading the charge for humanoids, Intel and AMD are chasing LLMs, Apple's mastering on-device AI, Taiwan's fabricating the future, China's scaling 1-nanometer chips, Japan's Rapidus is staging a comeback, India's making a bold play, and Trump's tariffs are shaking things up. With the edge AI market hitting $25.65 billion in 2025, chips are the new oil, powering robots, language models, and on-device intelligence. And, with AI safety concerns looming, the stakes are higher than ever. Who's winning this race? Drop your predictions in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe to stay ahead of the curve. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.